Alrighty, let's see how we do here. Hey everybody, hope you guys are all having a good day. Let me tweak my volume over here just a tad. Make sure you guys can't hear the desktop audio. And I think we're good to go, everybody. All right. Excuse me. Wait for people to trickle in here just a little bit. And then what we'll do is go over here to crypto side of things. And we'll kind of hop back onto where we were earlier with a kind of a little bit of a recap of what happened today. Because today was definitely just not a good day for the markets, as all of you guys already know here. I'm going to reset some of this stuff over here. That's going to work out fine. Loco is already over here being a butt towards my side. But there we go. Refresh. Let's go right there. Oh, I don't care about American greed. That's all of us. All right, there we go. All right. Let me get more adjusted. I had to run and buy some groceries here, so I'm a little bit late, so sorry about that, guys. So hey, Mr. Pep and hey, Mr. Joker, hope you guys are all doing okay. All right, so let's kind of talk about what happened today again, and then we'll kind of do a little bit of an update on Bitcoin as far as the short term, medium term, and I would say longer term. Maybe not so much longer term. Maybe we'll just go for the next few months here. Anything longer than that, it's going to be a little bit more of a guessing as far as I'm concerned. I kind of already did my maximum amount of notifications, so most people, most subscribers probably aren't going to even be notified that I'm live. So we'll probably see people trickling in here as the night goes on. But usually whenever I have these kind of like lower streams, you guys can ask me a question on anything and I will do a deep dive analysis, which has been kind of fun lately. I'm thinking for tomorrow of doing a 2-hour long middle of the day stream where I just start breaking down stocks. And then I'm also have some membership videos coming out the day after tomorrow too. So that'll be pretty interesting. But yeah, just so you guys know, I'll be doing that tomorrow as well. Okay, so let's kind of just get started off here with the recap, everybody. What's right here? And hey, Tony, hope you're doing well. Buying DIA calls anytime soon or more pain tomorrow? I'm not buying any calls right now. I'm waiting to see what happens as far as the market's concerned tomorrow. Normally in normal circumstances, I would probably be doing some calls from a day trading perspective. But the big caveat this week is this big railroad decision as far as if we're going to have a major strike. That's really stopping me from making a lot of the trades I would normally make around this time as far as swinging 2 to 3 weeks out. I'm not in any options plays right now at all. I am being hyper vigilant and just being very non-aggressive, very laid back as far as my approach to trading this week. Again, I have that kind of luxury because I did that play with you guys a couple of weeks ago where we'd had 1,000% off of video calls. I'm doing just fine here, but I want to be very, very careful because this railroad strike is going to be a wild card. And we'll talk about it here in a few seconds, guys, as more people trickle in. I need to find a new timer because normally the timer, the 8 minutes or so allows a whole bunch of people to kind of jump up in here before the stream starts. Now I'm just kind of winging it and people kind of get like, how do you want to say that? I just go. Sometimes people like a little bit of a warm up here. All right. Before we get started here, I mean, it was a pretty crazy day. You saw the S&P flat out crash, the Dow crash, and the NASDAQ crash. We had a really, really bad day. Just go over here to CNBC.com. Oh, I don't even know. Maybe I should go US. There we go. We saw that the Dow was down about 4% today. 4%. You guys can see my fingers. 4%. S&P was down about 4.5%. And then the NASDAQ was down over 5% today. And the Russell K is down almost 4%. This was not a good day at all. I want you guys to really understand that the market was really not pricing in higher inflation. I think the market was pretty confident that inflation had peaked and we were just going to go low and low fast. They got hit with a dose of reality today, and that's good. That's good. The entire market needed to wake up to this a little bit. It doesn't mean we're crashing down to 14,000. It doesn't mean we're crashing down to 7, 10,000, whatever. It doesn't mean the NASDAQ is going to be breaking down below that 200 weekly moving average. It's just like, hey, a warning sign. There's a reason why I keep on talking about all those kind of doomsday scenarios, and it's because the economy isn't as good as we would all like it to be, or at least as good as Wall Street wants it to be since they control all the money in the world, right? So keep an eye on all this here today, guys. The NASDAQ was a big shocker as far as how far it fell back down. This was a big whopper of a move down here. One thing over here, sorry guys, I scratched my leg. I took Loki outside, as you guys know, and I just got chewed up by mosquitoes. We are still quite a bit away. This isn't right. Oh, this is the S&P. Okay, that explains it. Oh, this is supposed to be the NASDAQ. Okay, that freaked me out there for a second. I was like, we are not in that territory right now. There we go. Okay, all right. Let me get rid of all that stuff. We are still quite a bit away, everybody, from the 200 weekly moving average. We know, we know when we break down below this, you guys should know this is one of my channel people. You guys should know that when we break down below this level, it's usually a terrible time for the market, a really, really bad time for the market. In this experience, we dropped down about 63% after we broke down below it. In the 2008 financial crisis, which I think is a little bit more relevant this time around, maybe, we dropped down only 40%. It's not the 60+% that we did in 2001 with the dot-com bubble. Now, if by some chance we were to break down and we just only go 40% down from this moving average, let's say it's over here, we might only be going down, back to the COVID lows here and do one gigantic, double bottom or something. I guess that wouldn't even be a double bottom. Excuse me. There's a final level of support there. The interesting thing here that you guys do need to keep track of. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm so surprised COVID keeps me coughing. Again, one of the things that I just find is very, very interesting, and you guys have to understand here, is if I take away the price or the price action here from the chart, you're left with just a few moving averages. There's a good chance, I won't say it's for certain chance here, because that's not for certain just yet. Maybe in a few weeks we'll know come October. But there's a good chance, or there's a chance, that the 20-week moving average is going to cross down below the 200 weekly moving average. The only time those have happened, just like before, have been during the dot-com bubble and the 2008 financial crisis. My concern here, as far as using this data to kind of make some more well-informed trades in the future, is this. You guys will notice that both times this 20-week moving average broke down below the 200, you can kind of see how violent it was moving down. I mean, it was moving down fast. It moved down fast, right? Well, in this circumstance, it's moving down fast, but it doesn't feel like the same momentum here. I know it's kind of weird. You can see how it's kind of leveling out a little bit. We may be in some type of little dip right there, like 2008. But perhaps, you know what? Actually, let me say this. For so far, that kind of gives me a little more calm. But I guess I should say this. If the market just starts to crash like it has in the past, as far as the 2008 financial crisis and the dot-com bubble, you might actually just start to see this really pick up speed here and really start to move down really quickly. But I mean, we're cutting it very, very close, everybody. I wish we weren't this close to the 200 weekly moving average, but this is basically what we have to deal with right now, and it just doesn't look that good right now, okay? So keep an eye on it. What's that level we talked about? Currently, we're about 7% away from it. We just dropped 5% today. We could totally hit this thing over the next few days if things get worse. Which is really scaring me because of the railroad strike. Because my fear is, as we kind of hop into Friday, which is the deadline for the strike, Friday at midnight, if we don't have a strike with the railroad unions, kind of do a little bit of a recap here. The White House right now is scrambling to figure this out. And so far, I mean, they've made some progress here, but like they've made minor progress with the small unions. If they can't get a deal done, there's 12 unions in total, 12 unions, 2 haven't had a deal yet. If those 2 don't make a deal, what's going to happen is there's going to be a massive strike, but the remaining 10 unions are expected to refuse to work in solidarity to support them, which means all the hard work for all the other union members, it's going to go down the toilet here. And the interesting thing as well, excuse me, if this really does happen, the media right now, and in my opinion, is giving some misinformation out there as far as the numbers of railroad workers. I believed what they were saying at first, but since I've been kind of doing so much research on this because I have no life and I just want to make money trading, you guys will know that over the past few days, I have been giving you the number of like 116,000, 120,000 railroad workers. Since some of the unions have made deals, that number dropped down to 60,000 railroad union members would strike. But now that the remaining 10 unions are expected to refuse to work in solidarity, that number jumps back up to around 120,000 railroad union members. So that is just going to be catastrophic for their economy. Be very, very careful, because agriculture, cars, everything you know and love, it gets transported by trains all across the beautiful United States of America here, from Seattle to Philadelphia to Jacksonville to San Jose. And if there's no trains moving stuff from the ports of Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles, San Diego, if there's no trains moving all that stuff out, guess what? There's going to be a huge backup. And where's all this stuff coming from? You got it, China. And if China, if this impacts China, that's going to make their economic situation even worse. And China is already having a rough time right now, guys. China is not in a good spot. Their population growth has kind of been poofing out, and they're having a lot of old people with not a lot of working age people because of their own laws, right? But that means that they don't have enough people to kind of fill their factories. It means they can't keep up with demand. And because of all this COVID stuff, growth has started to slow down. And so you just have a whole bunch of old people, and the state doesn't have enough money to kind of keep the old people happy. It's just kind of a mess right now. Plus, they kind of made their own real estate bubble, but then it kind of deflated because there's nobody that wants to buy real estate in China because it's China. So it's just complete chaos right now over there. But big point is, the remaining 10 unions are going to plan to strike with the other 2 unions if they don't reach a deal. And that's where this big concern comes in for this week, everybody. If the NASDAQ can drop, let me go to the daily chart here. And let me make this, so what you guys are looking at, the daily chart, and I'm going to make this 200, so you can see the 200 weekly moving average on the daily chart. That's easy enough. All right. We just fell 5% in one day. If tomorrow we have another really bad day, we break through this level of support here, and we start coming down, we're only 7% away from this 200 weekly moving average, which could set off a major chain reaction leading to some really chaotic results. Which would kind of be good, because it means we kind of bottom out a lot faster. And if this is, I hope it's not like a weird artificial one because of like the chaos of the rail system here, but it would be an opening for you guys basically to buy a whole bunch of coins, a whole bunch of stocks at really cheap discounts at dollar cost average rates, and just make a lot of money off of it, depending on how you guys want to trade this. But you guys really want to keep an eye on this, because it's just, I don't want to seem like an alarmist, but if the rails stop, that's 30% of all freight in America, 30% stopping. They're already slowing it down right now in preparation for the strike. That means like there's already going to be supply chain disruptions no matter what happens. But if they can't reach a deal, it's going to be chaotic. And the caveat here, one of them, is that Congress can actually step in and try to like force a deal, or they can force a pause, or they can try to force the railroad unions not to strike. These guys have not been given a raise in 3 years. They've been negotiating for 3 years. I don't know if Congress is going to be able to stop them from striking. And we have to think about the political aspect of this. As I know many of you guys maybe don't like politics, but Democrats want to keep control of the House and the Senate. In order to do that, they need to keep the working classes happy that are kind of being siphoned off by the Republican Party right now. If they're able to, there's going to be a battle here to try to please the union workers and the working class. If Congress gets involved and stops the strike from happening, oh my gosh, it's working class people are not all working class people, obviously, but you're going to see a strong shift to the Republican Party where they're going to have some moral high ground that's kind of built up in the political haze of politics, Wall Street, DC, whatever. And you're going to see that be a big hindrance to Democrats as far as elections concerned. And so they're going to have to do a lot of thinking here as far as what they want to do. I have no idea how it's going to work out, everybody, but I do think you guys should be prepared for the worst, because it's just not looking good right now. Right now, it's Tuesday. We have Wednesday, we have Thursday, and then we have Friday all the way until midnight. We have time. The market's just, frankly, the market's just now paying attention to this. Just now, I've been talking to you guys about this since July. And I'm like, hey, warning, warning, warning. Now we're starting to see some of those effects. If you go online right now and you guys go over to like just type in rail strike, excuse me. Now all of a sudden you see tons of news articles 7 hours ago, 6 hours ago, 1 hour ago, 3 hours ago, 1 day ago, 1 day, 1 day, 1 day, 5 hours, 46 minutes, 3 hours, right? Only because there's money to be made now talking about the fear and all that other stuff that would come along with it. But you guys knew about this for a while. You guys should be a little bit prepared for it, just as far as like the what could happen in these circumstances. But you know, just be prepared, okay, everybody. Now, as far as everything else going on right now, let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin. I'm feeling more of a Bitcoin rally here in the short term. We'll see how much further this thing wants to go back up. I'm thinking we might be able to reach back up here to the 50 moving average on the 4-hour chart. That may be kind of interesting. That's kind of right around $20,600 or so. So we might have an opportunity to bounce up a little bit. I'm not too enthusiastic about trading much right now, to be honest. I'm too afraid, frankly, afraid, worried, cautious about this railroad deal strike. That I'm just not going to open up myself to any major risks right now, especially because I'm not spending as much time around my computer as I used to. I've been going out and doing some walks to lose some weight here over the past few days, so it's been like tiring. And when I get back, I just take a shower and sit on my sofa and play video games and just like relax my mind from the hard work of walking. But yeah, so I know if you guys want to take a position right now, I'd probably be more encouraged, like I told you guys earlier, more in a buy situation than a sell. If you guys are looking, you might find an opportunity to see some type of Fibonacci extension level here. Now, this is the Bitcoin chart for that the stream sees, so I won't mess with it too much here. What I'll do instead is just go over here to this chart, open up the 15 minutes, and you saw that resistance zone I pulled up for you guys the other day, and the breakdown we just had right here. Right now, let me see, would this one work better or the other one work better? I'm not entirely sure. Righty. Did that do anything different? No, it looks like it did not. Okay. You might be looking at a scale out level of somewhere around 20,362 or a scale out level at the one target price for the Fibonacci extension level over here around 20,450. That could be pretty nice. I'm going to do one thing very fast just to see if it worked, even though we did come down a little bit more than expected. But let's see, did this work out pretty well? We hit the target, we got rejected, now we're coming back up. So maybe if you're going off of this one, you could be looking at more of a price target of 20,500. That's kind of around what we were talking about before as we kind of approach this, as we approach the 50 moving average on the 4-hour chart. So this is about $100 away from that target that we were just talking about. Keep an eye on it. I'm not expecting a massive rally out of this. If we get one, awesome. But I'm just like being overly cautious, as you guys know. But yeah, I mean, I still think it's a nice little opportunity for a day trade. Anything more than a day trade, it might be a little bit more tricky. I think if you want to have some fun day trading and practicing, you might have some fun with Luna and what's the other one? Luna C. I think Luna's up 6% in the last hour and 15 minutes. That's kind of nice to see. This is the hour chart. You can see it's been very, very volatile. Oh wow, this is hitting a big point here. From an hour chart perspective, we don't want to fall down below the 200 here. On the 2-hour chart perspective, it's nice we're seeing we're breaking back up above the 20 here. 4-hour, oh, we're going to get squeezed here. Oh, okay. If you were ever going to take your bets on Luna for a short-term play, I guess now is the time to start taking some bets. You probably have until tomorrow morning, I guess, to place the bets, but by then it might be already launching off or it may already be crashing. So keep an eye on this one. This one could be fun to watch. I'm not trading it, as you guys know, but it looks like it could be fun. As far as Luna C is concerned, this one's not nearly as good. You can see that we got the squeeze right here between the 20 and the 50, like we were just talking about before, but we broke down, and now we're still dealing with the effects of the 20-day moving, the 20 moving average and the 4-hour chart here. Now we have to get worried about being squeezed between the 200 and the 20. If we break down below this, this is an easy short. We have a long way to go if that's the case here. And on top of that, we just had like a head and shoulders, head and shoulders, broke down below that neckline right here and tumbled, came back up to retest, and we're probably going to tumble back down. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting right there. Maybe we're cooking up something here. There may be a cup and handle in here somewhere. But yeah, so just be careful of some of the plays you guys are in right now. I'm just taking this time to figure out some dollar cost averages. I've been going over to coinmarketcap.com and I've been building out a watch list here. Let me see if I can find out my watch list here. Excuse me. You know, I'm not invested in all these coins, but I'm adding more and more to this list of coins that have potential in my eyes. And I'll add more as time goes on here. But you can see for the most part over the last 60 days, there's a few pops like Raven Coin or Nexo, but some like GMT are down, Mina are down, XM is only up a little bit, Golem is up maybe 45, Polymath is up. So there's a lot of mixed results for the last 60 days. You have some down here that up 300%, 50%, down 5%, up 15%, up 18%, down 10%, down 27%, right, up 56%, whatever. So there is a lot of opportunities here. UFO gaming is up 91%. I bought some more UFO gaming coin today. I'm thinking of buying some more Starl here pretty soon. It only has like a $38 million market cap, so it's teeny weeny. So it doesn't really take much money to make some money. StormX, I added some more there as well to $73 million market cap. So I'll be over the next few days, once my voice gets a little bit better. I'm still struggling after COVID. I will be making a video of like my top 5 coins that I'm buying in the month of August, top 5 coins I'm buying in the month of September type of videos. And then after that, you guys are going to see me post some more tutorials as far as FinViz is concerned. I'll be making some more content for you guys as far as tutorials about like trading patterns and stuff of that nature. I was really hoping I could get some type of monitor that allows me to do writing on the monitor, like, you know, a touch screen monitor, so I can draw and stuff, because when I try to use this to like draw a pattern, it's just like chaos, like it just doesn't click as well. It's like it just has a bad vibe to it, of course. So I'm gonna see what I can do there, and see if I can find a monitor for myself. That might be kind of easier said than done, but we'll see. And then one other thing before I go straight to answering you guys' questions and saying howdy dowdy to you guys, dollar index. The new day here, new day after the last few hours. We're coming back down a little bit, but we still might actually have a little bit more of a surge in this pretty soon. So just be careful of this. If you guys want to be happy about the dollar index or get more excited about it, you want to see us break down below this line right here. And the price for the dollar index at this point in time, at least for the next few days, is going to be hovering, let's say somewhere around $106.58 or $107. If we can manage to break down below that, I think you could be much happier about Bitcoin finding a bottom. If next week the Federal Reserve ends up raising rate hikes, there's a good chance we're going to just keep on going higher, unfortunately. And I think there's already a good chance that they are going to be raising interest rates, so just be aware of that. But yeah, guys, this is just not the best setup that we want to have right now. Let's hope that over the next few days we can see the euro gain some strength, and we can see the pound gain some strength. You guys will know that most of the time when we're talking about the dollar, we're talking about the dollar versus the euro, the dollar versus the gold pound, or excuse me, the British pound, or we can talk about the Japanese yen. The Japanese yen today, the dollar is gaining actually against the Japanese yen. We were kind of hoping it was going to be falling off a little bit. That's not as good. Let's go to the monthly chart. I had hoped we kind of would have peaked over there, but nope. The dollar is soaring, but we're at that next level of resistance. That's nice. Excuse me. As far as the pound is concerned, we're just not in a good spot. I mean, what are we at? $1.14. Just a few months ago, you know, we were up here at $1.38. The pound's value has just crashed compared to the dollar. Our next level of support, if we continue to break down below $1.14, is going to be down here at $1.05. That means parity could be coming if we have a really bad cycle here. Could be coming with the pound, which is absolutely ludicrous. So you know, we got to keep track of that. And the last one here is the euro, of course. The euro has been below $1, above $1 quite a bit in its history, so it's not as, like, you know, new of a topic. But we did break down below our last level of support right around here, and you know, we do have some slight support right around this region right here, guys, right around here. But I mean, just yowza, guys, we're still falling. Basically, we're still falling. We just had a death cross. That's not good. This is the monthly chart as well. And then if you go over here to the weekly chart, just had a couple death crosses there. you know, we want to level out here, but I think if you guys want to get more excited about Bitcoin finding a bottom, I would look at the euro versus the US dollar and see if we can break back above the 20-week moving average here and hold it for 2 consecutive weeks. 1 week is good, 2 weeks is confirmation, if you ask me, when it comes to the way this is all going to work out, because we just don't know how solid the European economy is. The European economy is it's not in the best of shape right now because of their own, you know, financial decisions, just like our financial decisions and stuff like that. Kind of all put us in a weird spot. But keep an eye on it, everybody. Now, if you guys have any questions, please let me know. UK oil is starting to level off here a little bit. It's still falling down though, but just kind of leveling off, unfortunately. So gas prices, I think, some of you guys may already be going up. Actually, let me go over here very fast. Let me go there. Gas prices. Still going down, still going down, still going down, still going down. So we're still going down a little bit. Still going down a little bit, I think. Going down a little bit. That's regular. Diesel, yeah. All right, sorry about that, guys. I'm still going to be coughing for a while here. Let's see. Hey, Mr. Pepper, happy to see you back. Hey, Mr. Joker. Hey, the Truth Selection. Thoughts on lunacy? Be very, very careful with lunacy. It's a big, big gamble. You're just going to have to be very, very careful about it. It's the same if you want to go to the casino and gamble. It's a very high risk play. You want to be very careful about how you approach it. And if you are careful, you can make some money, but you have to be very disciplined if you want to hop into that coin, unless you're going to be strategically buying a dip or like a crash in one of those events. And then you're just going to be holding to wait to see if we can bounce back up. That's usually the easier path to go, but a lot of people don't like buying the crash because they never get the bottom and the price just keeps on going down, down, down. And they have this panic moment where they're like, oh my gosh, I need to get out of this. They sell and then it reverses. It's like people do it all the time. I've done it when I was a new trader, but just be careful with it. And let's see. And hey, Joker, thanks. You know, YouTube isn't really promoting my crypto stuff as much, which is kind of interesting. Because like, I know crypto is in the dumpster as far as views are concerned, and that's not really what my concern. I don't care if my channel has 100 views or 1,000 views over that. Of course, I want more, but that's not the focus. I get annoyed when people want to watch the stream, but YouTube doesn't notify them I'm live. So they come back like, oh man, I'm so sorry I missed the stream. I didn't get notified. That's where it starts to irk me. So whenever anybody watches the stream, I really do appreciate it, guys. And basically what I do with the stream, like here, during the last stream that I did this on, I did a deep dive into Bitcoin because my last deep dive accidentally got deleted by some mistake that I did or TradingView. I'm used to human error, so I'll probably say it was my fault. But here's what I did during the last stream. Now it looks much cleaner and more refined, but what you have here are a few GAN lines, or more than a few. You got some major support cluster levels over here for the next few months. We also have Fibonacci circles that are going to be very, very important to us over the next few months here. So I just wanted to plan everything out for the next quarter or two and have a good idea of when we may be crashing and stuff like that. If we're going across this grain, if we're going to have a major crash event or a really bad move, it would probably happen towards the end of September to the beginning of October. Now looking at this Fibonacci extension, I see this Fibonacci circle levels. And then if we manage to break down below this Fibonacci circle right here, moving down below the 2-to-1 GAN fan, that's most likely where we come into contact to this range of like $14,000 to $15,500 range, which would be pretty nasty. But I think it'll be a strong buy in this territory, bouncing back up, waiting to see what happens. And then we're probably going to try to glide against this Fibonacci circle as well. So we'll see how it all pans out. But usually these deep dives take about 20 to 30 minutes, but they're totally worth it because you can see all these major support levels. If you want to add Fibonacci levels, you can on them on top of it, but usually I don't add Fibonacci levels on this. Oh, excuse me, Fibonacci retracement levels on this because it just makes everything way too cluttered, way too cluttered. But they're useful, and you can always hide stuff you don't need. All right, but I think, you know, if we go over here to the 4-hour chart and the daily chart, right, you kind of have you can see how some of these have effects. Some of them really don't have as much. Well, you can see there was an effect there from the Ganfin level, but we managed to break out, hit that resistance zone from way over here that we had been talking about. And now we're coming back down. Now we have to worry about this Ganfin circle again, because normally on a weekly chart, when you're talking about Fibonacci circles, you're usually hoping that you can stay above them on the weekly charts because they are a little bit weaker on the daily. So you can see right here, we bounced down below it, but we came down below it. We managed to bounce back up, hopefully, or gladly, right? Now we're just seeing if we can stay above it. It doesn't seem as likely this time, but we'll see. Okay, see me. Let's go back over here and pop that right there, and let's go to the second chart. Look all nice and dancy. There we go. And we did manage to break above the 20 moving average in the 15-minute chart. Usually, that's a nice buying opportunity for you day traders out there. At least in my opinion. It doesn't work all the time, but I would say it works like 8 out of 10 times, and 8.5 out of 10 times. They're already starting to talk about 1% rate hike later this month. If they read Powell's speech last week, they would have known at least 75 expected. Exactly, right? But, give it some time. I mean, you know me, I've been calling for a percent rate hike or 100 basis point rate hike for months. I don't think he has the cojones to do it, but I mean, that Jerome Powell, as much as I make fun of him, that guy has access to infinite more data than I do. But I think it would send a message to do a full basis point rate hike and just be like, you know what? Inflation needs to come down, guys. We're laying down the hammer. Better to lay down the hammer now while we have a strong economy rather than trying to lay down the hammer when the recession's starting and more layoffs are happening. There's been a swath of layoffs this week. There's probably going to be another swath of layoffs next week. I was just listening to, I think it was like the 5 on Fox News. I think that's what it is. And while I was getting some groceries from the store or putting some groceries away, and I think they were talking about what's that news organization? It's New York Times. The New York Times, the workers are really fed up, and they don't really, or not fed up. They don't want to come back to the office and do the work. They don't want to go back to the office and and do whatever office people, journalists do. The crazy thing is, this is the time where you want to be, if you're at any organization, you want to be going to your boss and making sure your boss loves you. You want to prove to them you're invaluable because layoff season is incoming. And guess what? If you're not in the office and you have that luxury to stay at home, unless you're meeting some really high quotas or your boss loved you before they sent you home, there's going to be a lot of layoffs coming, and it's going to be a big battle to see, to impress your bosses or the corporations, I guess, to make sure that they value you as much as you value the job. And hey, Mr. Joker, I'll say this, Mike, you've been on the money recently talking about things no one else is talking about before they do. Yeah, it's kind of like it's me spending a lot of time on the computer. And again, I guess it all started back in economics classes in college, but if you understand what makes the American economy tick, you really understand what to look for in all these crazy times. And that's why when I first got my hint of like, why is Joe Biden getting involved with this strike agreement or this union negotiations? I was like, this could be a red flag here. Not because I think Joe Biden is going to mess up the whole process, more than I just think if the president has to get involved in a situation like this, it's going to be bad. And guess what? The news hardly covered it, and it blew my mind. And I think it was because, like, again, from a political standpoint, I try not to be left or right. I just try to be like, from what I kind of see as a vantage point from my probably own personality and the way I was brought up. But it seems like this summer there was like a pivot to try to make Joe Biden better after his approval rating got somewhere down like in the 30%, which is like really, really bad. And I think if they started talking about a strike on the railroad strike, that might have hurt him a little bit more, right? So I think the news organizations were trying to help him out a little bit, kind of what they do with what do they talk about? Immigration. How the news doesn't really talk about immigration too much these days. Maybe Fox does, I guess, but MSNBC is the scene. They don't really talk about it as much. And I think that kind of did a little bit of a disservice to the average American, because imagine all of a sudden out of nowhere you hear that, hey, the railroad workers could be striking and a lot of the goods you get at the stores, they're probably not going to be there next week. Like, how bad is that, right? So that's where I kind of keep this stuff on my radar. I have a list of potential news items that could be bad. I mean, that was on the top of the list, obviously. Right now on my list, all I'm worried about right now is supply chain issues going into the holiday season, which I don't really see as being a big concern unless this railroad strike happens. I think actually we're going to have a pretty decent winter if as far as a business perspective is concerned. Maybe not the stock market concerned. Let's see. And hey, JT, well, one positive, I can keep dollar cost averaging and Bitcoin on the cheap. It's always nice. That's why I told you guys okay, I didn't know for sure Bitcoin was going to crash. I never know ahead of time, but I told you guys, like, you know, I think we're going to eventually fall back down and, you know, at this kind of a nice golden zone that we were in a couple of weeks ago. But what I told you guys is, like, I'm taking a break from dollar cost averaging, and my specific reason was because I was being cheap or frugal. Now that we've had that drop, I'm more than happy to be buying back into a lot of these coins. If we go over here very fast, and we can just go to this regular Bitcoin chart. Let's go to the daily chart. Actually, let's just go to the weekly chart so you guys can see all the crazy stuff, like this little bit of a W. If we go over here, like to some of the coins I've been buying up, like the STMXs and stuff like that, I'm not buying STMX up here. I stopped. Well, kind of. You guys know I was selling and then buying and rinse and repeat on this one. But now that we're back down to these levels, dollar cost average, dollar cost average, dollar cost average. I want a dollar cost average as we're kind of below this 20-week moving average here. I don't know what will happen if we break out above it, because last time we did, we got rejected by the 50. That kind of scared me off a little bit, and we haven't really been above the 50 since all the way over here in like November 2021, right, last year. But there was also stuff like UFO coin. Look at that. That was a beauty. Dollar cost averaged a bunch over here. I got a little bit over here, a little bit over here, but a lot down here once Bitcoin hit the like big 17,000 cluster support. And this bad boy, let's just, if I go down to the bottom where I bought, this one position, not all the positions together, but this one position got up to like, 541%? No. So that's pretty good. But now we're, you know, again, we're on the verge of breaking down below the 20-week moving average here. On the monthly chart, it looks like we're curling back over. On the daily chart, it looks like we're testing out some supports that we might be breaking down below after we had a death cross here and we got too close to the 200 daily moving average here. I'm a little bit more concerned about that. More so because this coin, as you guys know, just kind of rallied up so much with the lower market cap. Here, UFO coin, it only has a $63 million market cap. It was in the $30 million range or $40 million range a few months ago. That's why I bought so much of it. But you know, it's much cheaper to buy it down here at a discount of like 50%, right? I don't know. There's other tons of other coins out there right now that people are dollar cost averaging. Dogecoin Mars, I bought a little bit of that, not as much as I thought I would. I want to wait to see if this goes down a little bit more as far as Dogecoin Mars. You can see how it looks a bit weaker than other coins. I'm hoping to take advantage of that weakness here pretty soon. And you guys know Dogecoin Mars, if I can find it here. Baby, there you go. That has a market cap of 150 million. I want to see if I can get it down a little bit more before I start doing some larger dollar cost averages. I am buying it, just not as much as I kind of would like to. I'm being extra stingy on that one, mostly because I have the luxury since I've already bought so much already, right? Let's see. And hey, Miss Pepin, Bitcoin broke that flag. It's looking so far so good. Just watch out for this little bit of support where we might go sideways for a little bit, but for now, it's moving in the right direction for sure. See. Anyway, Mr. Joker, you think they let the railroad strike happen for real though? Yeah. Excuse me, guys. Again, yes. I mean, guys, it's politics involved at this point. If it was just negotiations, maybe they'd be able to hammer it out. I don't know, but it just seems so political. And all of this is happening because the railroad workers, I think the railroad workers are actually happy with their raise increases. They're happy with some of the benefits, but they want time off. The railroad employers, whatever, they're not going to let them have enough time off, and you know, not even emergency time off, or you can get fired. Like if your wife dies and you have to go and you want to go to the hospital to visit her, or she's sick, whatever it may be, you can get fired if it's not approved by the railroad company. And the reason all of this is happening, the reason we're kind of on this collision course right now, it happens to be, unfortunately, but not surprisingly, because of Wall Street. When Wall Street goes into a new sector, what they do is they buy the corporation. They're like, okay, we got shares of this company. We're going to put it on Wall Street. We're going to squeeze all the money we can out of this. So how do you squeeze money out of people, or out of a company? What you do is this: you shave down expenses. What's the number one expense of a company like a railroad institution? It's the workers themselves. So what they did is they started firing lots of workers, laying off workers, not hiring new workers, but still keeping all of the same goals. So imagine 5 of you, like you and 5 friends, are digging a hole, and your goal is to have this massive hole dug within 2 years' time. But then after 2 months, you and your 5 friends, the boss comes over here and says, hey, 3 of you guys, we need to save some money. You guys are laid off, but you other 3-4 people, you guys keep on working, but we still need the hole dug at the same time. We're not prolonging the project here. That's basically what's been happening to the railroad workers. And I mean, you might understand why they're so ticked off now, to the point where they're like, hey, we want to strike. You want to test us out and see what happens to the economy, because we know we control 30% of the America's freight. And that's just going to be crazy. And I think some of you guys brought it up earlier. I brought it up in my video the other day. Trains cross over into Mexico. Trains cross over into Canada. We need that maple syrup. We need those avocados, right? I just bought guacamole today, and a lot of it. We're gonna have some chaos here in the future, guys. We want them to fix a deal here, but you have to think about the politics of all of this. Democrats want to get working class people. They want to see like they want to seem like they're working for working class people. Okay. Whatever you think about Trump was able to tap into working class people that thought the Democratic Party abandoned them, and kind of went less from the factory Democrats and more towards the Democrats I see here in Seattle, where we're all kind of in tech. I don't know, where are my friends like Democrats? I mean, they're all coders. They're coders. Some work at Starbucks. Some work at the Pike Place Market. They're workers, right? But instead of going for the factory worker that worked at, I don't know, General Motors or whatever, they kind of started focusing more on that what do they call them? The latte liberals. I used to be a latte liberal, right? I'm maybe not so liberal, but I love my lattes. And Starbucks just came out with their fall pumpkin spice lattes. I haven't tried it yet. My whole life I have yet to try it, but I want to try it. But the point here being, sorry for going off on the tangent, they are going to try to, it's in their best interest before an election season. Like we're like a month away from an election, 2 months away from an election, pretty much. They're going to try to help themselves out in this situation if they can. Republicans are also going to try to help themselves out here, because what could basically happen here is there's a few scenarios. Congress gets involved and they force the unions to take a bad deal that Biden's presidential emergency board chairman introduced. That's a bad deal for the unions because he's not a very pro-union guy, okay? That was a big problem in the first place. They should have had a more pro-union guy, so if they had to go through this situation, they would have a backup plan saying, oh no, we have to do this, but oh my gosh, look at all the cool stuff the unions get. They didn't do it. They messed up. They really messed up on that side of the equation. Now, that's one choice. They can go over here and say, hey, we think you guys can work it out, so we're going to postpone this again for another 60 days. And guess what? That is going to tick off the union workers like crazy. It's going to be a very bad optics sign. Republicans will jump in and say, no. Republicans may even support that idea, but they're still going to say, no, 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 no. We support workers' rights. And then on top of that, you guys can imagine Bernie Sanders coming out there saying, Democrats, what are you doing? This is why the working class is leaving us. Oh, and yada, yada. It's all politics at this point. It's all politics at this point. And you guys have to understand it about this railroad strike. But again, if we're lucky, there's going to be a deal before Friday. If we're lucky, we'll be totally fine. That'd be great. If it was not a deal, that's where we have to start dealing with some larger issues here that could be really bad. Let's see. And ain't far from broke. Happy to see you back, my man. Railroads down will cost like what? Yeah, it's $2 billion a day. If railroads are not maintained, yeah, it's gonna be $2 billion a day. It's gonna be bad for the economy. It's gonna be rough. And guys, remember what we learned today from the high inflation data was that the price of food was going up. The price of food is going to go up even more if this does happen. Let's see right here. Worst case scenario, worst case, National Guard could end up filling those jobs. Military has plenty of soldiers to work railroads in the military. That might be kind of interesting. I don't see, again, that goes back to politics. That means the railroad workers would lose leverage in the negotiations, which would be horrible. See, there's so many consequences to this. And the majority are not good for Biden because they just planned this out so wrong. And I don't really blame the president for that too much. I mean, I guess in the end, he is the president, so the buck does stop with him. But you got to wonder when it comes to presidents and when they have these kind of blunders that are kind of obvious, if you kind of like think about them a little bit, the staffers that kind of work in the White House, maybe it was the staffers in Congress, whatever, these average Joes, like these political things, like, you know, creatures who are always there, they just never seem to have political foresight, which is always so chaotic. And then we have problems like this. But I'm guessing because the average person who can actually like do that type of job and be very smart at it, and they're probably getting paid a lot more money to go work at some private corporation. Honestly, that's probably what's going on here, right? Oh yeah, and RW, I forgot about that. I saw that today as well. 15,000 nurses strike. Yeah, that's, and I saw some of those are even happening at children's hospitals. Now they got temporary nurses to fill the gap, but I mean, this is what happens when you spend too much money. The Federal Reserve prints too much money, and you have high inflation, and wages don't keep up. Now that wages are going to go up, guess what? We're not going to ever go back to the inflation that we had, the inflation rate that we had a while ago, or the prices we had a few years ago. The whatever you want to call it, the Trump era, the Obama era, the Bush era, those prices are gone forever. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think McDonald's is ever going to have a dollar menu again, at least in Washington. We're already expensive over here. But, you know, some of those things are just lost forever. And the kids that grow up these days, they'll never know what a dollar cheeseburger is like. They'll never know. They'll probably know what a dollar bun is like. Something like that. Let's see right here. See, and hey, Joker, until last week, you were the only person talking about the railroad, Mike. I heard about it months ago, got bored, then reinterested, and then they started freaking out in the news. It happens all the time, man. Now, I wasn't the only person talking about it on YouTube. There was a few other people who were talking about it, but they were all railroad industry and union and workers. So they were talking about it more from the union perspective. I was probably the only one talking about it from an economic standpoint, but that's because I'm me. I try to work hard for you guys to get at least a little bit of a viewpoint of what's coming. But man, I just didn't think it was going to be blundered like this. I thought they might actually make a pretty good deal, but they still have time. So let's hope that Joe Biden, let's hope that the railroads, let's hope that the unions can get together, sing kumbaya, and we don't have a full-on economic crash headed our way, because it would be a disaster to have 30% of all freight in America stop. Guys, like, you're probably thinking about like some batteries or some phones or some planes stopped up on some trains and they're just not moving anywhere. Think of rotting fruit, rotting produce, all that stuff just going into the toilet here. Lots of money lost. It's just not going to be, just not going to be a pleasant experience for us all. Let's see. And hey, Mr. Joker, we're going under 20K KuCoin coupon. It runs until the 15th. There you go, guys. That'd be pretty interesting as well. And what you guys should understand here from more of a technical aspect, what are these? These are Fibonacci. Oh, wow. Yeah, we did get rejected off of this Fibonacci extension level too. Yep-a-do. Okay. Let's get rid of this one right here. We don't need this Fibonacci extension levels at the moment. Okay. Excuse me. So what I want you guys to pay attention to is I can put this horizontal array on for us. Let me move this mic so I can just talk very slightly low voiced. My throat's kind of getting to me now, guys. Sorry. There you go. What we're looking for right now is to our only goal right now is to hold above 17,622. That is the goal right now. currently, after this nice little pump we had over the last few days, I think this was a preemptive pump to really help us out with this scenario, honestly, but we'll leave the market manipulators out of this. We're about, excuse me, 13% away from this bottom right here, 13% away from support. If we go back over here and look at the NASDAQ, we're about 8% away. So normally, as we kind of see how far everything falls, let me just go through this perspective. The NASDAQ fell 13% from the high from this peak. Bitcoin fell 26%. So if the NASDAQ does have the unfortunate future of retesting out these lows, there's a strong possibility that Bitcoin is going to fall down way more than that, leading to Bitcoin actually coming back down here to the $16,000, $15,000 range, which would be kind of interesting because it means that we might not actually be full on crashing. We may just slowly grind down there, which might be a little weird because we're kind of used to Bitcoin crashing between one level and the next. I mean, we might also just crash again, but it may be a little bit less scary as before. So you might see us break down maybe a 1 day of like plunging or something like that, but then we kind of grind down slowly, something like what we've seen like this, where we're still dropping down like 20%, 10%, 15%, but it doesn't feel as scary as it might otherwise would have, right? So keeping a close eye on that right there. I should get rid of that. There we go. What's right here? And hey, David, LRC, let me see if I can find it here. Sorry, my mic is blocking everything. What's the... I guess Bitfinex is probably the best chart. Oh, let's go. There we go. Binance. That's what I was looking for. Ooh, so this one looks a little bit weaker than the average coin at this point in time. You can see how much closer it is to those support levels. Even from the, this is May crash, June lows. Okay, it works out okay. So we're about 5.62% away from breaking down here. This is kind of concerning to me unless Bitcoin can really find some type of strength of support. I think you may have a massive sell-off if we break down below this 31.5 cent range. We're currently around 33.5 cents, so we do have some space to come back down, like 5%. But this is a little bit concerning to me. You can see how we had this nice breakdown right here. This led to a lot of shorts. Nice short, came up a little bit still with shorting. That trend really changed at that point in time. If I was to do anything with this, I would probably be buying or loading up on this, maybe some dollar cost averaging. If you want to do something more of an aggressive play, I mean, I might buy some with a 6% stop loss, a hard 6% stop loss. And if it manages to break down below that, I'm just going to be out, frankly. But this one is a little bit more concerning because it's given up so much more ground compared to a lot of other coins out there. If it comes back down maybe to like 32 cents, I'd be more happy to buy it, maybe even 33 cents. But right now, you want to be nibbling into this thing for long-term returns. Anything else is very, very risky at this point. You can see right now we're about to get squeezed between this level of support and the 20-week moving average. That's most likely going to happen over the next, I mean, what is that, like 2-3 weeks? So you're going to see some volatility for this in all coins, right? You're going to see a lot of volatility coming up over the next 3 weeks as we kind of head off to the end of September and the first couple weeks of October. It's just going to be a volatile mess. But there's going to be money to be made here, but you want to make sure you have a strong stop loss if you're going after that one. That one looks very weak compared to a lot of other coins out there. And it is like a perfect storm right now. Only if the storm kicks off, though. We really want to see if we really want to hope that this railroad strike does not come along. Fed is contemplating refilling oil reserves at $80 a barrel. Oh gosh, I don't know. It just seems so weird. They're trying what they can, but I mean the Federal Reserve doesn't really have much control over energy. If they're trying to dive into that territory, take that power, it's just not going to work out very well. Hey, Level Scratcher. What do you think about quiet quitting on social media? These quiet quitting will be the first one to be laid off in the recession. Um, I mean, it depends, right? It depends on your value to the company. Um, I feel like people do have been doing quiet quitting for a long time. It's just kind of depending on which worker you are. So I wanted to move up the company when I was working in corporate America when I was younger, like 22, 23. I'm 27 now, so it's a while. A while ago, like 4 years, whatever, 5, 3, 2, I don't know. But here's how I see it. There are those employees who really want to rank up in the business. I was the type of employee who would get to work like maybe a half an hour early so I wasn't late. I would start working early, answering all the emails and stuff like that. Then when my boss walked in, I would talk to my boss and give him a cup of coffee. And then after that, I'd ask him some questions about what was going on for the day, anything I needed to be aware of. And then I would get straight to work. And, I'd be kind of lax through the day. I wouldn't be so much of a hard worker because I went there a little bit early. I'd work a little bit later and I'd take things pretty easy, right, throughout the day. So I'm getting the job done better than anticipation, like better than what they expect, but I'm not like going out of my way to like break my brain with stress. And then at the end of the day, I would say, I'd work a little bit later just so like a few people saw that I was working after hours. And then I would hop on the train, go home or go to the train station, drive home. And then I would answer any emails that I got somehow between that time frame, which happens a lot. And then, I'd rinse and repeat. And I think that's kind of the behavior you need to kind of move up. But I also had a friend who, not a bad employee, but they got to work at 8 o'clock. They worked till 5. And after 5, there was no way you could find them. And when the company ended up doing some I wouldn't even call it downsizing, but when the company ended up making a shift to like, hey, this department, we don't need as many people. We need more people in this department. My friend was let go and he was wondering why he was let go. And I was like, I mean, you weren't a bad worker, but you didn't prove to the company that like you needed the job. Right. And so, each employee is out there different. I was much more stressed out about my job than he was. So I think he actually had a better quality of life difference, but that quality of life had a consequence of not being as favorably looked upon by the company. So, it is what it is, but I mean, everybody's free to do whatever they want. There's tons of jobs out there right now, at least for now, right? If people want to quiet quit, let them quiet quit. I mean, at the end of the day, it's their choice. The company will see it. They'll see it. But if they're happier and, the company's maybe not as happy, maybe it was worth it for them. Working in a corporate America or just any job out there, plumber, welder, whatever, if you're being worked hard, it kind of sucks. If you're on call all the time, it kind of sucks. What's supposed to make you happy is you get this like little thing called a paycheck every 2 weeks. And my pay was really nice. I mean, they paid for my cell phone. They paid for my train tickets. They paid for my gas for my car. They paid for a lot of stuff. They paid for my healthcare. They matched my 401k contributions. They paid for a lot of stuff. So I was very, very happy to work for them. And it gave them a little bit of extra effort. But, my friend got a lot of the same perks as I did, just didn't give as much effort. And, come time where there's always a time where they have to trim, that's what was going on, right? So it'll come back to bite some people in the butt, but not everybody is going to be punished for quiet quitting. Like if you are still productive, go for it. Like do you whatever you want to do. If you want to have a better work-life quality, if you want to have a better quality of life, go for it. I mean, gosh, you guys only live once. Why do you think I'm moving to Nicaragua? I want to be living life all I want, right? Having a fun time. Maybe I'm not in America. Maybe I don't have access to 5-star or 4-star restaurants every corner like I do around Seattle or Tacoma. But like I'm not going to be happy like just making some good food in my kitchen, not having mangoes fresh off the tree, not having a pack of dogs live with me because I can afford to have a pack of dogs. I mean, like having a nice yard, having a waterfront view. Whew, that's a quality of life thing. But I'm a trader, so I can have that quality of life. If I was working my first job ever, which was working at a bowling alley for $8 an hour, good luck getting a beach house, right? $8 an hour is not really what was I 8 times 160? Yeah, I was earning $1,280 a month, and that's before state taxes. That's before federal taxes. That's before let me see here. How do you do these things? What are they even called? Pay calculator. Tana. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Hourly wage was $8 an hour. Hours per pay period was, well, I was working part time. Let me just see if I was doing this full time. So 20, 40, so 80 hours. All right. Semi-monthly, bi-weekly. I don't remember the zip code I had in Montana. 59. I don't know. I don't care. Okay. But basically, oh, does it not? Oh, bi-weekly. Yeah. I'd be making about like $500 a week. That's rough, guys. I mean, that doesn't even cover my rent back when I was living in Seattle. That's how rough that is, okay? It didn't even hardly cover my rent when I was living in Montana. But you know, I get 81% of my money back. That means 1 out of 5 days I'm spending working for the government, right? People don't like that. So, you know, life is hard. Gotta choose. You only get one life, guys. Make yourself happy. And hey, Bideford, didn't get any notice of your life. And I'm sorry, Bideford. I don't know what it is. YouTube is just irking me like crazy these days. I try to see and let you guys know notifications, but YouTube just isn't putting them out. I know there's like 50 people right now watching, and I appreciate it a lot, guys. But before I got sick with COVID, you guys know there's like 150 people, 200 people in here, sometimes even more than that. But when I got sick with COVID, YouTube just stopped promoting my content, just like flat out. So it's going to take a little bit of time for me to get the numbers back, and I think a little bit of time for you guys to get the notifications, and I'm sorry about that. But yeah, it sucks, Bide, and I apologize for that. I got to figure out how to fix it, but I don't think I can at this point. And then Mr. Joker, is UFO coin legit in terms of long-term holds? I mean, I think it is. I've been dollar cost averaging for the past like 5 months on it, and I've been pretty happy with the returns on it so far in just the process. If you want to do UFO coin, stop. What are you doing? Stop looking at my fingers. If you want to look into UFO coin, what I would do is I would go to the website, do some research on the website, join their Discord, and follow their Twitter. Their Discord, you can go in there, you can ask the developers anything, the mods anything. They're working on stuff. They're not going at a crazy fast pace, but they are moving at a pace compared to a lot of other people out there. But yeah, I'm holding them for a long-term hold. I've been very happy with them. I've been able to accumulate a lot of coins basically by trading the coin in a long-term position. So as far as UFO coin is concerned, right? Let's go from a daily perspective. So I bought like $50 of the coin right here, $100 of the coin kind of around over here, $200 of the coin right around here, $500 of the coin right there, and then I stopped. That's more than enough money for a coin that has a market cap of well, currently has a market cap of like 63 million. A few months ago, of course, if we go over here to the market cap, 3 months ago, it was way down here like 26 million. It was very, very low. That's why I was like, oh, I'll buy a lot here and I'll be perfectly fine. But you know, since down here my average is kind of like mixed in right here, because you know, a little bit here, but the majority of it's kind of bought these lower prices. But it hopped up around like 350%. There was some of the ones I bought down here were like very, very cheap, so like over 500%. So what I was able to do during this experience is, let's just say I don't even know, like I had like, let's just say 1,000 coins, even though it's like way more than that since you know they're less than a penny here. But what I was able to do is sell those 1,000 coins up here for a lot of money. Nice. And then I just kind of bought them back here, and I bought them back here, and I bought them back here. So now I was able to accumulate a small profit, but I actually just own more coins right now, and I'm very happy with that for a long-term hold. And that's my plan for it now, but this could ultimately end up coming all the way back down here to this level, maybe some new low down here, right? It could have a really wild ride. And so that's why I stopped putting money into it at this point in time. But I'm pretty sure I'm fine with UFO coin at this right now. Let's see. And hey, Joker, I don't know if they're going to hit the bottom. I really don't know. Part of me is wondering too, are they going to be as aggressive if we have a railroad strike as well? Maybe they'll just do 75 basis points and then just have the strike. Or if we have this trick, maybe they'll go down to 50. I just don't know. It's going to be totally insane to kind of watch all this play out here. But Mr. Joker, if you want to see how I choose my low market cap coins for long-term holds, I put out a video a few days ago. It's this one right here. Finding crypto coins in a bear market before they explode. If you watch this video, I kind of lay down everything from market caps to price of coins to exchanges coins are on to background checks on the employees of the actual exchange if you want to get that detailed. I have a whole plan for it. Asset allocation, metaverse versus DeFi versus whatever. Kind of covers all that stuff. I know I only got like 400 and 500 views, but it's very, very useful, and I think you guys will enjoy it if you guys want to go searching for those low market cap coins out there. Let's see. And Halo Roller Scratcher. So the railroad strike, it most likely won't crash the economy later on, crash the stock market on Friday. What may happen is it may cause the market to go down a little bit, but the deadline for the negotiations is Friday at midnight. So if we really do have a lot of pain, it'll most likely happen on Monday. Now, crypto, on the other hand, yowza, we could be in for a very rough Friday night at midnight. We could be in for a very rough Saturday and Sunday. And, then it's like the stock market catching up to the crypto market, which could just be crazy because, it just could be a wild one. Let's do it here. And hey, Axel, you remember the ultimate cheeseburger for $1.99? I remember. We're in different times, my man. I can't wait to see how much everything costs in Nicaragua. I haven't been down there in a minute. I've been to El Salvador. I know everything's really cheap, like 20 cents for a Coca-Cola. Awesome. But I need to go back down there to say hi. Let's see. And hey, Brady, it's happy to see you back. The economy sucks as bad as the Broncos. Oh my gosh, I watched that game. The Seahawks were so lucky, but I was so happy. The Seahawks should have lost that game by a mile, but both times the Broncos were at the end zone, they fumbled the ball, and I just laughed and I laughed and I laughed. Because I saw Russell Wilson's face. He was like, I got you guys down here twice, and both times you fumbled the ball on me. Well, it was great. But yeah, that Broncos offense, especially that running game, I was okay running game, but the what do you call the fumbles, oh my gosh, the Seahawks should have lost that game by a mile. Thank God, though, that they didn't. Now the Seahawks are, 1-0, while the whole NFC somehow is 0-1. It's crazy. Let's see. Ooh, excuse me. Who needs 5-star restaurants when you can snag 5-star crypto on the low and have a nice view? I mean, that's what I'm thinking, guys. I like America. I'll be up here quite a bit of times, honestly. But I like the quiet pace of life, just being nice and easy, having a nice yard, a nice house, overlooking the water at an affordable price. If I go out there right now in Seattle and I try to find a place to live on the water, it's going to be millions of dollars easily. Well, if I go over there to Nicaragua, I got hundreds of thousands of dollars. I can afford hundreds of thousands of dollars. Millions of dollars I cannot afford. Well, maybe, but I don't want to pay it. Right? Let's see. Let's see. And hey, Miss Joker, I have a Discord. The link is down in the description. It's just the Discord isn't really popular anymore because of crypto kind of going down the toilet. And to be frank, I don't really have as much time as I used to in order to kind of manage all that stuff. I really burnt myself out through the Dogecoin stuff, trying to manage all the whole Discord server and stuff. Maybe if I had somebody that can manage the Discord for me, that'd be kind of nice. But I would have to reorganize it. I'd have to put on a barrier so they have to answer questions in order to get approved into the server. Basically, if you're like, basically just not really questions, it's more like if you're not a bot, click the check mark and you're good to go, right? And then it would stop people like bots from getting in there. But Discord is kind of a hot mess right now as far as my channel is concerned. I answer questions in there when people ask, but there's just so many scammers that come in. I'm just always surprised. Like once you get into this realm of crypto or finance in general, there's so many scammers out there, always trying to scam people out there. Like if I go over here to Bitcoin Live, oh, even Jordan's views are way down today as well. Oh wow, you don't see many bot streams right now. You don't see them at all. Earlier today I saw like 12 of them and I was like, oh my gosh. You know why? They're probably all there because of they were all there because the market was crashing earlier in the morning. And this guy said Bitcoin flashes rare buy signal. Yuck. Nope, I don't see any scam channels on there. I must have got banned. Okay, that's good. But yeah, usually there's a lot of spam, as you guys know. And hey, Alex, thank you very much for the super chat, man. I really do appreciate it. You have no idea how much. I will always appreciate that, my man. Thank you very, very much. And I like that I like how I got everything set up so it makes a little ping. I don't know if you guys can hear the ping, but I like to hear the ping. Wait, no, maybe it doesn't have a ping. Let me see. If I do it again, does it ping? Now you guys, that's what I hear when you guys donate. So thanks, man. I appreciate it. And what's it there? And thanks, Bideford, for telling everybody like the channel. If you guys haven't, please make sure to like and subscribe. Let's see. You think railroad strikes will cause food shortage worldwide? I mean, it won't cause food shortages for other countries out there. No. What's basically going to happen here is it's just going to make everything get more expensive. So, and so there's a few things. So food will get more expensive, cars will get more expensive, planes will get more expensive. You're going to see those be more reflected in the earnings reports, would lead to bad quarters for Q3, which would just be not what you want to see. Maybe going into Q4, we're not entirely sure, right? But if... Yeah, look, it's going to have a big problem across the world. I think it's going to be more of an issue within America here, personally. It's just going to make food much more expensive, but only specific types of food in the first place, like, flour, wheat, grain type stuff, breads, that's going to be more expensive. Yeah, it's going to be pretty bad, but it's not going to be a food shortage bad, I hope. If it is food shortage bad, you're going to see truckers be rerouted, and it's just going to be chaos throughout the whole system. Like, let me see if I can just pick this up right here. Get out of Stewart's Meats. I can't believe I saw that open. All right. Oh, and something you guys should know. So most of America's rail is freight, but there are tons of companies out there, other train owners, whatever, like Amtrak, that carry people basically. Well, Amtrak, like 92% or like 90% of all Amtrak lines are owned by freight. So that means Amtrak won't even be able to use any of those freight lines because they're not going to be available to be used because they're all controlled by freight workers, railroad workers, right? Here, there we go. No. So running on almost 140,000 route miles, the U.S. freight rail network is widely considered the largest, safest, and most cost-efficient freight rail system in the world. The nearly $80 billion freight rail industry is operated by 7 Class 1 railroads, railroads with operating revenues of $490 million or more. Unlike roadways, U.S. freight railroads are owned by private organizations who are responsible for their own maintenance and improvement projects. Compared with other major modes of transportation, railroads owners must invest one of the highest percentages of revenues, 19%, to maintain and add capacity to the system, spending nearly $25 billion annually. All right. Now, this is the point where I was trying to tell you guys. See, freight is moved by rail, waterways, pipeline, truck, and air throughout the United States. Rail has an advantage. So you can see right here, rail has about 30%, 28% of all the transportation. That's rail, okay? And let me see. So coal, lumber, ore, heavy freight, long distances. You can see all the tracks that we have, the ones that go into Canada, the ones that go into Mexico, right? Um, uh, Commodities, agriculture, energy products. Energy would go up. Food would go up. That's bad, bad, bad. We would have what 48% of all rail freight consists of consumer goods and other miscellaneous. Your Best Buy stuff, your Chinese goods stuff, basically. That's going to go up, up, and up. So it's it's not as good. And if you want to go more into it, think of like coal. If coal isn't being transported from the mines basically over to the power plants, how are they going to run? So, it's a far more far-ranging problem than I think a lot of people are thinking about. But I think as the next few days go on, you're going to see the news pick this up a lot more. I was really surprised you guys know how little the news was talking about this until all of a sudden, just like on cue, oh my gosh, boom, this is a major thing. We have to pay attention to it, when they should have been paying attention for quite a bit of time. So it'll be weird. California is pushing $22 an hour for McDonald's and fast food. I mean, California can do whatever it wants, but if you're an owner of a California business that now has to pay somebody $22, you have a couple options here. Well, actually, you have one option. It's going to be very plain as soon as over the next few years. But let's say what the two options might be. Your first option is to raise the prices to cover the cost of all the new money, all the new expenses you now have, now that you have to pay somebody $22 to work at McDonald's. Okay, now you could do that, or you could hire a robot to do the same job and just have less employees, but have robot workers flipping the fries, putting together the hamburgers, and one guy's just there making sure everything looks good, and one person's there making sure everything is good and passing it on over to the customer, right? So there's a face behind the counter. Now, they could do that, or they could pay the people $22 an hour. They could automate over time and then fire all the people that they have been giving $22 an hour for, and then maybe the 3 workers they have left over to the 10 or 20, now those people can afford to get $22 an hour. That's most likely going to be the consequences of these actions right here. But I mean, it's a good intention. You should give people more money, I guess. I mean, at a certain point, right? But it's just, there are going to be consequences to these actions, and it's never the consequences that they say are going to happen. If I was the owner, that's what I would do, because at the end of the day, my job is to make more money as a business owner. That's the capitalistic way of America. If I owned a Wendy's, all right, and so far I had like 5 of you guys, or let's say 20 of you guys working for me at Wendy's, and you guys were getting paid $15 an hour, and at the end of the day, let's say $20 an hour, $15 an hour. If the government came in and said, hey, I had to pay you $22 an hour, now I'm like, now I'm not making as much profit. I probably am still making profit, but not as much. And as an individual, do I really want to give all of my hard-earned profit because I'm the guy that had to put the money down, pay for this, the building, pay for all this, right? Pay for the upkeep, yada, yada, yada. Do I really want to give that much of my my cut of the profits to the workers? No, I don't. What do I want to do instead? All right, let's start looking at how much robots cost. We'll keep the business going. I'll lose some of my profits for now, but I'm going to start saving up for some robots. And then once I figure out a good robotic solution, right, what I decide to do is I buy 3 robots. Probably going to cost me $500,000 for 3 good robots. $500,000. That's going to be a lot of money. But they come with insurance. They come with automatic maintenance plans. And, if I'm paying somebody, let's say I cut down the staff from whatever 5, or what did I say, 20 employees. Let's say I cut it down just in half to 10, just to 10. Let's not even cut it more than that. Let's just go cut it to 10. So what'll be happening here is, and let's just be very, very basic about what my expenses are going to be. So let's say it's 22 times 80. So that's per week. So let's go 160 for the month. 160 for the month. And let's multiply that by 20, okay? By 20. And then let's multiply that by 12. So for the year. So maybe that's the wrong thing to do. Hold on a second here, guys. I'm not good at math. 22 times 160. So that's, so I'm paying one person $3,500 a month. Okay, now here it is. So now what I got to do is multiply that by 12 to get, this is the guy's yearly salary is 42,000. Now multiply that by 20 employees. Yeah, okay, I was on the right track. So I'm paying out like almost $850,000 a year for those 20 employees. Okay, I know it's kind of crazy when you think about these concepts, right? Which is like, okay, that's how much I'm paying. Well, if I cut that in half, right? That means I'm saving $422,000 a year. That's enough to cover those robots. And then guess what? The year after that, I save another $422,000, but I don't have to keep on paying over and over for those robots. That's the concept. That's why automation is going to take all these jobs away. No matter how much the government tries to raise the wages, that's what's going to happen. It's unfortunate, but that's the way society is built. And these robots are doing just fine. There's plenty of them out there. Burger robot. Type it up. Robo Burger. I don't even know what this is. First burger robot in a box. I don't know what the heck this is. Okay. Yeah, whatever. They're coming up with this stuff. I don't even know what this is. But a robot in a box. I think they don't even need a store. That's not what I was thinking about, honestly. But like if you go over here to images, maybe this is more what I'm looking for. Like this type of stuff, right? This, right? Has everything looking all nice. There's a person that stocks all that stuff, and there's a person that keeps it clean, right? But that's only 2 to 3 jobs. It really is. And the rest of it is done for the burger. So, I mean, like from I guess I deleted that thing, or I got rid of the numbers. But that's why it's so smart to actually just say, hey, screw their worker. Let me get a robot. I'll still have a few workers, the ones that work really, really hard. But the rest, I'm sorry, we can no longer afford you. We've replaced your job with robots. I mean, it's such a simple concept. What it really represents is governments for wealth inequality, which does exist. I'm not saying it doesn't. Governments prefer the Band-Aid approach and not so much like fixing the overarching problem of society, which even I don't know how to do, but I'm not being paid to fix that problem, right? But that's what happens. I mean, like, I hope I kind of opened up your mind there a little bit. It's like why it's not going to work, but it will work for a couple of years. I mean, it'll help out people for a little bit of time, but you can see that if the guy's getting paid like $15 an hour, then it goes up to 22, that's like over like $100,000 extra. That's only with 20 employees, right? That's only with 20 employees. Imagine how much more that person's going to have to pay. And if the guy has multiple McDonald's, he has a lot more money flowing in, so he can buy those things a little bit faster than the guy that might just own one franchise. Let's see right here. And hey, Mr. Joker, as far as the Fed refilling oil reserves at $80 a gallon, I mean, they might as well do it now. I just might as well, I guess, since they want to refill it. Well, everything's cheap. I think it'll be okay. As long as these recessionary fears keep on going on, we may see oil start to just stagnate right here. If oil does start to reverse, you may see them put some type of pause on it because it will be considered bad political moves, I guess you would say. But I don't think it has too much of an effect. It's not really the smart thing to be doing right now, I would say. You kind of want to wait a little bit, but I think everybody just wants to prepare for what could be a really bad winter. And this is a really bad winter. It's just going to be a little bit of chaos in the markets. What are you doing? All right. Let's see. And a Joker, if you're paying me $15 an hour to flip a burger, it's gonna be the best damn burger I can make. You want to pay me 20? I promise. You want to pay me 20? And hey, Brian, I decided to buy a burger robot. I mean, they look pretty awesome to me. I thought it was pretty cool. I never even saw that before. A burger and a vending machine. That seems pretty darn crazy. I bet they have a video on it too. I can't play it because it's a stream, of course, but I would look up that video on YouTube. That seems like a really good little thing. And you can see Bitcoin still soaring up right now. We broke above the 20 moving average trend. It looks like we're still doing okay. Guys, just be careful for this trend line right here. We don't want to break down below that. That'd be a really bad sign here. Let's see if we can continue moving up. We'll deal with this next level of resistance, the 50 moving average, then try to pop above the 20,706 level there. And hey, Joker, see, yeah, I mean, yeah, and robots are usually a little bit more reliable than humans. That's definitely for sure. And Walmart is already implementing robots. Now, I don't go to Walmart because I refuse to go in there. I just hate the whole process of Walmart. I hate how busy it is. I just hate how many people are in there. Nothing against the people there. It's just I'm an introvert. I don't like dealing with people, and Walmart is full of people. It's why I only go to Costco like once every 4 months, because there's so many people, and I pay that damn $60 to $70 a year, right? And I still don't like going there because of the people. But yeah, robots are going to be great for grocery stores down the road. Very, very good. Walmart has so many problems, but at the same time, they're making so much money. Who cares, right? Oh, and just so you guys know here, Ethereum Classic is making a move of the day here. I'm looking at this over the past few minutes. This is Bitcoin's chart. You guys can see right here as well. But Ethereum Classic up 6-7% so far in the last 2 hours. Ethereum Classic making some golden crosses here. Keep an eye on this bad boy. There we go. I've been thinking of some YOLO plays since the market been dropping. I've been looking into stocks like Verb and UAVS. I mean, as long as you can see some utility there and that it has growth potential even throughout this recession, I think you're going to be good for holding them. Healthcare is a great sector. Energy is going to be a great sector after all said and done here. Freight is going to be a good sector, even though things are slowing down. I still think infrastructure is going to be a good play here, because the government hasn't really been allocated all the money yet of where they're going to be spending all these massive amounts of money. So you will see that going towards a lot of construction projects, a lot of mineral companies, basically like, hey, you need to dig up a whole bunch of stuff, whatever that stuff that makes up cement. You're gonna have to dig up a whole bunch of it, because we're going to be repaving roads left and right. We're going to be building new 5G towers all throughout America. Those components that make up those 5G towers, you got to track that stuff down and see where it's going. Now, that's my actual current mission right now, is to track down all that crap. But there'll be money to be made at the end of it. Let's see. Get Walmart grocery delivery. Yeah, I mean, guys, I got groceries. I bought groceries today, but I also like forgot some stuff. So what did I do? I got Instacart, and I got an Instacart a while ago. Order's complete. They sent a picture of what it looks like in front of the door, and some lady named Alexis was very nice and dropped them off at the door. But I got 9 items. I got a refund of my corn dogs because they couldn't find corn dogs. I got some Tostino's pizzas, some guacamole, some Juanita's tortilla chips, kielbasa, lasagna noodles, pasta sauce, and some ricotta. You know, I'm making some lasagna tonight if you hadn't noticed. But yeah, you know, I like having all that automation done for me. Not even automation, but just the delivery service from them. It works well. My mom gets Walmart Plus. I live in New York, so Walmart's so packed, it's annoying. Oh, I couldn't even deal with that. I can't deal with like crazy places. The cool thing about Seattle is, even though it's kind of crowded, nobody talks to each other. We all kind of get it. We're here, but let's not communicate. It's a beautiful thing. Not many cities have it. Let's see. And hey, Alex, I can't blame you for not going. Like, I literally pay Instacart Plus just so I don't have to. Like, I don't know if I can find my. Oh, receipt. It does have a receipt on it. Load faster. Oh, this was from Fred Meyer. I thought it was the. I thought this was the like when the Albertsons the Safeway is like a mile away from my house. This lady was like driving 4 or 5 miles. I feel bad now. Well, here, like that's why it was paper. That's why it was paper bags, not plastic bags like they normally do. So like my items cost like $47. The checkout bag fee was 16 cents. The checkout fee bag tax was 2 cents. The sales tax was 2 cents. The tip was $5. The service fee was $2.50. You know, and free delivery with being an Instacart member plus. So it only cost me like $5 to have, like $5-6 to have somebody drive down there, pick up all my stuff, and come back. You know, I value my time enough for $6 for like saving me like an hour. $6 an hour, you know, I'm okay with that. I'm very, very happy with that, honestly. Let's see. There we go. But I'm actually surprised. I feel bad for making the lady go to for Fred Meyer. Fred Meyer was a nice place, but it's just like not close to where I live. I knew I wanted to live in Seattle for a reason. Hey, Christine, it's a very, very good one. And hey, RW, it's a really lasagna is so good. I can't wait. I got some frozen beef. I need to start chilling out too. And Helium Network is rolling out 5G. See, everybody's making some good plays right now. It's all good stuff for the long haul for sure. Um, Seattle's a place a lot of people want to visit. Seattle's a really nice place. They're cleaning up the homeless problem too. It's still bad, but it's not like California bad, which has been very good. They've been trying to clean it up. We had a big election last year between a more liberal mayor and a more democratic, like a more moderate mayor. Both Democrats, of course, it is Seattle. But the more moderate person won, and he's been really like cracking down and moving people around and cleaning up the areas, getting rid of all the needles. It's been very pleasant to kind of see Seattle change up a little bit for the brighter. Now we still have a bunch of crime, random break-ins and stuff like that, so it's not perfect. But we're getting better. We're getting better. And I do like to see progress. Right? I want to see us going in the right direction. Country, maybe not so much, but the city, we're going in the right direction right now. And everything's expensive, but it's good. This is good expensive. Like you're getting some good quality stuff out of it. Let's see. Hey, take one. I mean, while the flights are so good, while the economy's still roaring, it's nice to come out and travel. I'm planning on a couple of trips to Nicaragua next year, and that's what I'm going to be very excited about. Very, very excited about Nicaragua. Poor Loki's going to be left here all alone. Well, I guess with my family, but he's not going to have me next to him. And he's really sad when I'm not next to him. We haven't been. Oops. What did I do? We haven't been apart for more than like 4 hours since I got him at 8 weeks. Besides like one trip, we haven't been apart for a long, long time. Let's see. I love Seattle. When I went back in 2012, ferry system is amazing. The ferries are great, except we have a shortage of ferry workers now because freaking inflation and the worker shortages. But yeah, it's great. There was a lot of fun stuff to do out here. Lots of beautiful water, fishing, the wilderness. We have some forest fires right now. There was some big smog the other day. That's one of the reasons my throat's actually irritated. There was like a lot of smoke the other day out here. But it's a nice area. I like the nature side of Washington, not so much the city side. The city side's perfect. Don't get me wrong. It's nice. Lots of nice restaurants, nice good food, lots of fun places to go with friends. But the nature side is what really draws me out here, especially if you guys like all the random stuff out here. Like there's more than Washington than Tacoma, Seattle, Olympia. If you go out to like any of the nature parts, there's so many random spots here. You got like the country parts out here in like Western Washington. Like there are like small little towns that only have like 50 people out in Western Washington where like people don't even think about it because Washington's so big. They just only see the little corridor of I-5. All right. But okay, everybody, I'm going to call it a night. Bitcoin is on its a little bit of a reversal here. Hope for the best. Just watch for this general downtrend, guys. This is going to be the big difference maker to me over the next few hours. I'd say like, let's say hours to days. If we can hold above this or at least stay above this $20,000 mark, we have an opportunity to stagnate and then reverse. If we're unable to hold this at least for the next 6 hours, let's just make it easy, like the 2 hours, 3 hours, it'll be really rough for us to not have a more downward day where it looks more like Bitcoin's going to be having a multi-day drop here, right? Where we're just having a wick of a candle and we're going to be breaking back down below the 20-day moving average here. It's not what we want to be looking at right now because then all of a sudden we're all the way back down here to $18,500, which would just be catastrophic for like a 3-4 day hold, right? So keep an eye on everything. This is more of day trading territory if you ask me, but be careful with it. Take your time and practice day trading if you want to. I'm going to go make some lasagna and chill out with the family for a little bit and probably watch some anime or watch some drama. I watched Lord of the Rings, not Lord of the Rings, not Rings of Power, Game of Thrones, whatever, House of the Dragon. It was perfect. I recommend all of you guys watch it. But I'll see you guys a little bit later, okay? And I'll see you guys probably tomorrow. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm not entirely sure for the time, but I'll do a 2-hour deep dive video where I do deep dives on any stocks you guys are looking at. And then tomorrow, I'm also going to have some updates for the channel members as well, so you guys have a little bit more of an idea of what I'm looking for and kind of my fears about this railroad strike, okay? Thanks, everybody, and have a fantastic rest of your night.